Episode 9 is said to have many different twists and turns, as well as surprises in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, when we look at Episode 9, we do know that this is a very important movie by Disney and Lucasfilm, and that they are indeed using this as a course correction. So this movie is going to have a lot of fan service as well as pieces of nostalgia in order to really attract a lot of the prequel trilogy fans as well as the original trilogy fans of the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Luke Skywalker, Rey, and a big secret of Anakin Skywalker. Specifically, a description of both Luke Skywalker and Rey standing on top of the Prime Jedi Mosaic, where Luke is giving a lecture about the Force. It's described that the conversation between the two eventually transitions to a discussion about Anakin that was initiated by Rey. It's described that Rey asks about Luke's father. The next goes over Luke's Force Ghost revealing to Rey that his father had learned many powers in the Netherworld, one of which was passed down from Anakin to Luke, was the doppelganger technique, also known as Force projection. It's said that while Luke was using the power in Last Jedi, Anakin's voice was reaching out to Luke and guiding him to use the power correctly. It's said that Luke explains to Rey that those from the Netherworld of the Force, such as his father, hold great abilities that can be taught to a mortal. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this most definitely connects to The Last Jedi novelization. Now, initially, I thought it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's a reason as to why I believe this. Now, in The Last Jedi novelization, when Luke Skywalker is using the Force projection power, he hears a voice, or at least he thinks he hears a voice, telling him to let go. It's stating, "Let go, Luke." Now, initially, I thought it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, because we do hear him say something similar in A New Hope. Now, going into Episode 9, we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be retconning certain elements in the sequel trilogy, as well as bringing in a lot of twists that will have saga-wide implications on the Skywalker saga. So the Force projection technique was actually taught from Anakin Skywalker down to Luke Skywalker from the Netherworld of the Force before Luke Skywalker passed on, and well before Rey even actually arrived on the planet of Ahch-To. So this is where things begin to get very interesting, is that it seems as though that J.J. Abrams is setting up this whole entire concept of Force Ghosts from the Netherworld being able to teach new Force powers and abilities to a mortal in the mortal world, such as Rey and or Luke at the time. Now, this big secret by Anakin Skywalker being able to use the actual ability, or at least learning the ability and handing it down to Luke Skywalker, since only a person alive can use that technique. It really is a very interesting aspect of Star Wars, I gotta say, and a very respectful way to honor the character of Anakin Skywalker, where Luke actually learned an ability from his own father, Anakin, during the events of The Last Jedi, and it definitely does make sense as to why Luke was hearing a voice in The Last Jedi novelization, telling him to let go. Now, like I say, that sounds more like a line for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it seems as though that J.J. Abrams wants to change it up and do something different and new. Now, I'm sure that the Episode 9 novelization is going to touch on this a whole lot more, where we're going to learn a whole lot more about Anakin, Luke Skywalker, Rey, you name it, and the whole entire dynamic between all three characters. So the Netherworld of the Force, we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to tap into this in great detail in this movie. In fact, there are plans to the point where we're actually going to see the Netherworld of the Force in Star Wars Episode 9, through, of course, the character of Luke Skywalker and some intense special effects. So, like I say, Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader is the true face of the Star Wars franchise, without a doubt, and it's probably the most honorable thing that you can do for the character of Anakin Skywalker in Episode 9 is, of course, letting fans know that there was a connection between both Anakin and Luke during the events of The Last Jedi. And the thing that really does get me, I will say, the thing that really does get me when it comes to episodes, 4, 5, and 6 is the whole entire aspect of family. And that's a thing that J.J. Abrams will be bringing back into Star Wars Episode 9 on a whole nother level. And I think that's a great thing for the sequel trilogy and a step in the right direction. So this Jedi Temple, like I say, we do know that there is a lecture between both Luke and Rey where they discuss the Force, they discuss Luke's father, Anakin Skywalker, in front of this large Jedi Temple structure, which most likely is going to be another Jedi Temple, not the first Jedi Temple on Ahch-To, but a different one that also has the Prime Jedi mosaic. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.